Peace and blessings, family. I pray that all is well. Welcome to the N.O.I Cook Show. I don't think this is going to be a show, but today I am doing something that I have not done in a really long time because a lot of people have asked me about this, and I did it in the past, and just, I have not done it now because I don't like to record while I'm cooking. Anyways, we're making bean soup. This is the recipe that I use. However, this is not how I create my bean soup today. My bean soup that I make today is tailored to my interests, what my palate likes, and what I'm into right now. But nonetheless, it is a bean soup. Everything that is supposed to be in there will be in there. So let's get it started. And also, if this is your first time making bean soup, please be patient with yourself. This could take time. I know that it took me some years to finally figure out how to make bean soup. Honestly, I just got it together like last year, 2 years ago. So it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Have fun. Follow the recipes because that's how you do it. So let's get into this. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you even make your bean soup is set out your beans overnight. Now, I know a lot of people who maybe cook with beans. I'm still new to the bean world, to be honest. But I know a lot of people who grew up cooking with beans. They didn't really set out the beans overnight. But what you do when you set the beans out overnight, you are helping the beans get rid of something called oligosaccharides. I think I said that right. And what that is that chemical that makes your stomach bubbly. That gives you flatulence when you eat beans. So in order to prevent that from happening, you're going to sit your beans out, and you're also going to boil your beans. And then I'm going to show you what comes up once you boil your beans and what you're supposed to do when that happens. So that's what I'm about to do now. Also, before you boil your beans, you're going to want to go through and make sure you take out any of the beans that look like they just should not be consumed. The ones that have little marks like this. Now, I did this when I first set the beans out overnight, but sometimes you could miss some stuff. So always remember to do that, because remember, you want to consume the best of foods. You deserve the best. So you're not going to want to put maybe some bad stuff in your body. So that's what you're going to do now. And even if it's not just for your body, even if you don't care for you, think about your family. You don't want your babies eating that. That's not good. So yeah, pick out the bad beans. Now that the beans are all clean, I set them on my stove on high until it starts to bubble. And you guys will see what I'm talking about when that happens. And yeah, that's the beans. So I'm waiting for that to happen for about maybe 5 minutes. While the beans are, cooking, this would be a great time to start cutting up your vegetables, your celery, your carrots, garlic, an onion. Let's see what else I remember. That's pretty much all the vegetables I put in mine. Yeah, that's pretty much, you might want to do that now if you want to save some time. And feel free to have your children join in on this if you have children or relatives or something, because it's fun. Bean soup is a family affair. It shouldn't be something boring. It is delicious. It is nutritious, and it's a staple, or it should be a staple in your day-to-day life. So yeah, I don't know why I just added that. I guess it was just meant to be said. I also want to mention, if you are making your bean soup in a crock pot or what's the other one? Pressure cooker? I don't know how to use a pressure cooker, unfortunately. But if you have a crock pot and you are someone like me who probably wants to leave the house and would still like, the bean soup to be being made, all you can do is plug in your crock pot. I like to set mine on about 4 hours on high, because that's the exact amount of time that it will take for the bean soups to cook, and the beans will be nice and soft. However, I don't just right away put the beans in here. That's why you guys see me boiling the beans here, so that I can get rid of the flagellants, or the oligosaccharides, which is that starch, that fat, that sugar. And then I'll put it in here so it can cook for 4 hours. I'll season it and go about my day. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about, of course, but I just wanted to mention that real quick because I will be preparing this batch of bean soup with the crock pot, because the crock pot is very convenient and I love it. And it's the only way I've been creating soup or just making bean soup since I've started using it like last year. However, you can still use your stainless steel pots. Do not think that you cannot use it. You actually, it's probably best that you cook your bean soup on the stove. However, I really like my crock pot. If I am incorrect, someone please let me know. I don't know if there's a specific way you're supposed to make the bean soup. I just know that I really like my crock pot. So yeah, that's what's happening. This is still boiling. So the beans have been, you know, sitting for I don't know how long. But this is that oligosaccharides that I was talking about. I don't even know if that's really how you say it, but it's very confusing. But anyways, this is that sugar that causes beans to make us gassy. So all I'm doing is skimming it, just like you see here, and dumping it in the sink, because you don't want that. So once as much of this is removed, I'm gonna let the beans boil for about 5 minutes. And I'm going to transfer them over to the crock pot so that they can cook or just finish cooking. But I'm actually going to leave a little bit of, maybe about a cup, 2 cups of these beans in here to boil, because I would like some beans for my other miscellaneous recipes. So I like to have maybe bean smoothies, milkshakes. So I'm going to set some aside that will not be seasoned, that I can freeze once they cool off for that purpose. So yeah, this is again me removing the oligosaccharides, which is the starch that causes flagellants.
It comes so dear to my heart. Less emotional.
So just a little tip, I do prefer to cook my bean soup with clean or filtered water. However, this time I did use mainly sink water. Didn't even think about it, but I really, again, I like to use bottled water. But when I was at home, my father actually had a water filtration system that turns sink water into alkaline water, and like I would use that to make my soup. But you know, since I'm no longer home, I can't use that. But in the meantime, we have bottled water. But this is completely up to you. I mean, again, I like to consume the best because I am the best. My body deserves the best. But if you would like to just use sink water, I recommend that you boil that water first before you add your beans to it, just to get rid of whatever chemicals may be in that water. And yeah, that is about it. And this is cooking. What I'm going to do is add my seasonings to this so that I don't have to worry about it, so the beans can actually soak up those seasonings. And yeah, it just tastes a lot better when it's time to eat. So that's what we're gonna do now. Now before I add the seasonings, I am gonna add about 4 tablespoons of butter. Now if I'm not mistaken, the recipe that I gave you all calls for oil. However, I prefer butter. I don't even remember where I got this from. I think someone told me about this and I never really looked back. But again, it's completely up to you. 4 tablespoons of butter. And as far as seasonings, this is what I, as of now, put in my bean soup. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the recipe calls for some chicken bouillon as an option, but I do not use that. For that replacement, I use cumin, because I like how cumin tastes. So we have seasoned salt, black pepper, turmeric, and a little cayenne pepper. And of course, salt to taste once it's all finished. But again, this is literally all I like to use. I don't like anything fancy. I don't like too much. This is what my palate likes, and this is what I've been sticking with. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to let this sit for about 2 hours or an hour, and then I'll come back and mix it because by that point it'll start to boil. I have a meeting in a little, like 10 minutes. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. It's just gonna cook with the seasonings. So I know there's a few people out here who like to, you know, cook their veggies a little bit before they add it to their soups. But I just like my fresh veggies to, you know, cook in the hot broth. And this is how it turned out. I even had it as a side dish for my main course, which was absolutely delicious that night. Well, there you have it, folks. There's your navy bean recipe. Now, if you do choose to make this soup, please let me know in the comments how it turned out. And yeah, catch you guys in the next tutorial. I would love some cooking ideas too. If you guys would like to see me do something, you know, creative with food or beans, I don't know, let me know and I will consider it because I like making videos like this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.